Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. Appreciate you joining. Just a quick note, our webinar is going to be recorded and should be out on the website within 24 hours. We'll also have a list of your questions. Everyone's going to be on listen-only mode for this webinar, but we have some awesome moderators, so feel free to send any questions along, and we're going to kind of talk about that. One other small caveat to note is we did get notification this morning that there is a chance of a slight fire alarm, like a 5-10 second fire alarm. I just wanted to give a heads up if we mute during that time and we're silent for a few seconds. That's why. We'll send out a message if that's the case. I just wanted to give everybody some warning. So welcome to the webinar. Today we're going to talk about creating the ultimate doctor and patient relationship. The main point I want to talk on that today is actually creating that relationship outside of your office visit. And so how can we accomplish patient engagement outside of the visit? So my name is John Dinchak. I'm the product manager over our patient engagement tools. I often get to say I get to play with the fun tools. I've been in healthcare over 7 years, and I've worked on our scheduler, our cross-browser report center, and a bunch of other areas of our product. And just a fun fact about me, I've got a lot of pets that come from very eclectic backgrounds. In fact, I've got pets originating from 6 continents. So I do like to have my fish and reptiles and enjoy those. For submitting questions, you can see on your webinar tools that you're going to have this box. If you type your question in, you can then hit the send privately. We'll get that answered for you. So again, we've got our team. You can answer throughout. We are going to take questions at the end of this webinar, so that for any questions you have. So what is patient engagement? And this, to me, this slide is kind of the best example of it. It's the technology-enabled patient journey, bringing patients and physicians closer together. With technology, everyone's now got a cell phone. Everyone uses text message or has an email account. And there's a lot of things that we can do outside of the practice and the visit to give care to your patients, and also help and increase your revenue and reduce the work in your office. And so we're going to go over some of those items today, and I've got a couple of exciting demos to show you as well. So in kind of looking at what is patient engagement, there's a lot of different items that I consider patient engagement, from looking online to finding a new provider or specialist. If you're looking for that new pediatrician, you're searching review sites on the web, reviewing patient history and information, chronic care management if you've got high blood pressure, diabetes, prescription management, the ability to look at the prescriptions you have and manage those outside of the doctor's office, even request refills. Check your balance, manage your payments, forms management, and we'll go into forms in a little bit as well. Telemedicine, that's kind of the new next big thing. You've seen it from the hospital systems, you've seen it from your pharmacies. That is something AdvancedMD offers, but you can engage with your patients pretty much at any time. You can engage with them outside of normal hours if it's an emergency. It's a great tool to not only meet your clients' specific needs, as well as earn additional revenue. It is something for your practice. If you have some open slots and if you've set up for telemedicine, it's something you can help fill those. Patient satisfaction, getting results back. Did they enjoy their visit? Is everything okay? Are they going to remain a patient of yours? And then appointment management, from scheduling appointments to reminders to confirmations, because you lose a lot of money if they don't show. And then appointment recalls, getting them back, for that 6-month or 3-month follow-up. And so I kind of want to talk with AdvancedMD. We like to talk about our workflow and our integration, and so it's one of the great items for us is how integrated we are with these systems. And I think our patient engagement products are integrated throughout our PM and EHR, if you've got one or if you've got both. And so just an example of the workflow, and kind of like a real life example of how you can do this with AdvancedMD, finding patients. So we're finding more and more patients are now looking online to find their next provider, next doctor. And so they're going online, they're scouring, Facebook, Google, Health Grades. They're looking at your website to see, if that's a good fit. And in a lot of cases, if they're ready to schedule now, I know me personally, having to call an office, getting on hold for 10 minutes, and trying to get to a receptionist or scheduler who can get me booked takes a long time. And also for your front office staff, it takes a long time to schedule appointments. We've actually found on average, for the average patient, it takes 8 minutes of total office time to schedule an appointment. So if your patients can schedule online, and imagine what you could do with 8 minutes, 8 minutes back in your day. We are going to do a demo of our online scheduling, and I'm going to talk more about that. But your patients find you, and you capture that new appointment. Instead of them maybe calling you back later, maybe delaying it, they can go ahead and book now. Once you've got them in the system, then you can send a reminder. So again, we want them showing up, and we want them showing up on time and prepared. And so our reminders, we've been doing some updates to our appointment reminders, and I'm going to show you a lot of really cool stuff today as a demo as well. But you can specify that message with the reminders. If it's a surgery, you can add additional instructions for a surgery or a new patient visit or a follow-up. You can give them the tools they need to show up on time and keep your office running efficiently. How long does it take to send forms, to get your forms back, your consent and demographic forms? Did you know that we can send those electronically? As soon as you add a new patient, or if you tie it to an appointment type, we can send a form out electronically. Your patient gets a notification through email. They log into our portal, and they can quickly fill that out at home where they're more comfortable. And you'll have it before the visit. You can review it before the visit. Save time. Because if you've got a patient that shows right at the time of their appointment, and then they still have to fill out the forms, you're 20 minutes behind. So you can quickly, with our kiosk, have them fill it out. You can also have them fill it out in the office. So if they show up, no more paper. How much do you spend on printing paper and managing that paper? We talked a little bit about telemedicine. You can have an in-office visit or a telemedicine visit. We're seeing more and more practices that are going fully telemedicine. And then after the visit, did you do the right things? Was the office too cold? Was the office too hot? Was the nurse nice to the patient? Did everything go well? Does the patient want to come back? Are they going to talk nice about you? We have a tool, a reputation management tool, which as soon as they check out of your office, they get a survey. It's a quick, easy survey. If they fill it out where you're 4 or 5 stars, you get that feedback, and then we direct them to Google or Facebook where they can fill out a survey for you that leaves publicly. Because as we talked about on the first step, people are looking online to see, about your practice to see if they should go. So help manage that. If it's a 1 to 3 star, or what our reputation management tool does is it brings it back, it asks some probing questions, and it gets you that information. So if you're finding out something like I waited too long, or the waiting room was a little uncomfortable, it's something you can fix before your patients go somewhere else. So it's great information. And then lastly, with our patient portal, your patients can make payments, check their records, schedule follow-up appointments. There's all kinds of tools within the portal that your patients can manage outside of their office visit. And just to kind of tie those together of the products we offer, so everyone who has our practice management product gets our patient portal included. We do have some add-on products where you can have AdvancedPatient, which is those forms I talked about, the kiosk, the intake and consent forms, and appointment reminders. And then we also have a premium version of that called AdvancedPatient Pro, and which includes the reminders and the consent forms. It also includes what we call patient campaigns, where you can do marketing. You can send your customer base, you can filter off of criteria and send them a discount maybe for a service, or to let them know that, hey, it's really snowy or we have construction, please park on the other side of the lot. We talked about online scheduling, that's part of Pro. And I'm really excited to kind of show you guys a sneak preview. We'll be the first people who are going to see some of our new functionality with voice reminders, which will be part of AdvancedPatient Pro. And then we have our standalone telemedicine, and reputation management. So again, with AdvancedPatient, I am going to go into our demo here. So I'm in my test key here, and what I want to show first is if you go to Master Files, and you go to Templates, and you go to Email and Text Templates, I've got our master file here for reminders. And so what you're going to see at the top is you're going to see appointment reminder templates, and you're going to see the different reminders. And again, I have all kinds of different ones. I've got new patient, in which you can see I've created it with a little bit more information, bringing the insurance card. I've even included a link, and I'll show that in a second, of where to go for the portal so that they can sign up and get those consent forms filled out. I have surgery and post-op, where in some cases I don't have the appointment time, I just have the date, because I don't know when they're going to get scheduled. So this was a big feedback item that we had for this product, was allowing that separation. We're very excited about that. You'll have the ability to write an email, a text, or a voice template over here. So you can, for email, you can give more detail. For text, you can make it smaller, because nobody likes getting multiple text messages. And then for voice, which is new, so there are some items on here that are new or coming out later this spring. This will read the text to your patient through voice. So this is really excited about this new product that we'll be offering soon. So you can, within this area here, you can type in, we have merge fields that you can drop in different data, and this all pulls from the appointment. So if it's the patient name, it's the provider attached to the appointment, it's the date, it's the time. I'm going to show you what arrival time is, because just because the appointment time is at 2 o'clock doesn't mean you want them showing up at 2 o'clock. Maybe you want them showing up 45 minutes early, maybe a half hour early, maybe 10 minutes early. So what this does is it calculates, and I'll show you where to set that. This will arrival time will calculate when to show up, not when the appointment time is. And you have the option. You can use appointment time, or you can use arrival time. So it gives the practice the ability. And you can put your facility in here as well. You can format it for email. You can format it however you'd like. You can add an image. You can add a link here. And if I went into here and I typed in Google or whatever your practice ID is, I can actually then change this to Google, and I can have it open up a new window. I'm not going to save this, but if you added this in, you could add to your practice website. You can pretty much put any practice website in, and it just is a link they can click, and you can do that for email and text. Going over to the global templates. So if you want to add a new, template, you can quickly add one, or you can copy. I'm going to show you some of our global settings here. And again, some of these settings are new. If you're interested in getting on our early adopter program, add a note to the comments, and we'll make sure to record who would like to. You'll be able to turn on text and email, and we'll have a separate option for voice. So if you're not ready for voice, you can separate that. If you don't have voice, then this hides. You can send your frequency to 1 day before the appointment, 1 week before, 1 month before, or you can set a custom. So the custom gives you full flexibility on what to schedule. We'll have the email address here. You can actually put your practice email. Just be warned, if you put your practice email here, you can get emails back. So as long as you send a message box that someone's monitoring. Otherwise, no reply to AdvancedMD, and the message just gets killed as it comes in. You do need to set your default template. As you're associating in appointment types, this is what any new appointment type will automatically default to. And this is a new feature that we're working on as well. If your pediatrics office, or if you've got a lot of appointments the same day, maybe your practice, you schedule 3 appointments for the patient, what this will do is it will just send 1 reminder instead of 3 if you select this option. So we're very excited about that. Moving into, again here, I can quickly copy. This is actually a great tool, because I can take what I wrote here, copy it, create a new template, and then just rename it and maybe delete 1 line out of it. Maybe I want to make 1 small change based off the appointment type. It's really fast to do. If I click into here on new patient, And again, some of these are newer features. We now have the ability to split out confirmations and cancellations. And so you can choose if you want your patients to be able to confirm through email, text, or voice, or cancel through email, text, and voice. It's your option. For text and email, it's up at the top. For voice, it's at the bottom. And voice, it'll ask them to press 1 to confirm, press 2 to cancel. So it gives them the option at the end of the call. And then for these are your distribution lists of how you're going to confirm, where it's going to show up, which distribution list. So the two big items here for these distribution lists: where do you want your messages to go? So for here we have a distribution called appointment requests, but you can select any distribution that you have created. And then the cancel item, the cancel action. This is the biggest item here. So on canceling an appointment, you have 3 options. If you select cancel, it takes it right off the schedule. You won't have, it just takes it right off. It's nice for a practice that doesn't want to manage cancellations. So if you're busy practice and you don't care about the cancellation aspect, you select this, it takes it off the schedule. There's no work for you. If you select and send internal message, it does not take it off your schedule. What it does is it sends a message to this distribution list stating, patient A would like to cancel the appointment. Would you like to, how do you want to proceed? And then you reach out to the patient. Or you can do cancel appointment and send a message. And what this will do is it will take it off your schedule, but it'll let you know. It'll let you know that the appointment was canceled. And then this is arrival time. This is how you set arrival time, and it's based off of every template. So you can customize this for new patients. So this is a new patient template. So I want them to show up 45 minutes before. So again, the appointment's 2 o'clock. The reminder will say, please be here at 1:15 to get them in early. Just because you tell them to come in a half hour early doesn't mean they actually will without seeing that time. And so where does all this information go? Well, it goes directly, it's integrated right into your confirm appointments. I don't think I have anything confirmed for the day. It would show the patient for the day. It would show and if they've confirmed, what method. So in those settings I was just showing, you can select how you would like it to show, if it was showing through this method or not. All right, so what I'd like to do next is to show you how do I link an appointment. So I can go to Master Files, Appointments, and Appointment Types. And here, for every appointment type that I have, I can link to an appointment reminder. And so this is just, if you have 1 or 2, then that's pretty easy, and by default it's set up. If you don't, this is something that you can select. So one of the nice things here is if I do not want an appointment reminder for an appointment, so I can click into here and I can select whatever template I'd like, or I can decide I don't want a reminder. I don't want a reminder for, let me just find a better, immunizations. So for immunizations, I don't want a reminder for immunizations. So if I select this, what will happen is on these appointments, your patients will not get a reminder. So it's just one less item going out to them. And just to kind of quickly show with a text message or an email, what will happen here is they'll get a message, they'll get an email or a text, and it will open up, they'll click on the link, and it'll open up a page that says, do you wish to cancel or confirm based on what option you've selected. And you'll notice here that this cancel, this case is a test key, so it's a little outdated. But you notice here that you can't cancel within 24 hours. It does not allow the patient to cancel, which is why this is grayed out. They're not able to cancel. They'll have to call the office, which is what we've selected here. But they can confirm. They click confirm, and they are all set. The other place I wanted to show, because it's not as well known, is appointments. And then you can go to provider scheduler setup. For some practices, If they're using provider scheduler setup because they want their provider to have different appointment types, you can also set those appointments here. One thing I want to point out, if they have the red X, so if this default is red X, it means this appointment type is the default for this provider. It will use this reminder template. So just something to look at if you have that option, it will use that one. So if you have a particular appointment type reminder or you don't want a reminder, make sure you check your provider scheduler setup as well. And then lastly, how do I manage the appointments when they go out? How do I know what's happened? So I can go to modules, and then go to email and text message center. And let me just type in a day here. And you can see that it will give me all of the message types that I've sent out in this module. This is a great module. It shows, did it go out text, did it go out via email? Eventually it'll show voice, the patient name, the message type, so you can see we have online scheduling, and where it went to and what time. If there is a failure, it'll either have a red failure with a message, or it'll say pending if it still hasn't gone out yet. Great tool. You can do a lot with this. You can filter off of the different statuses and the different types. So wonderful tool to check to make sure your messages are getting across, especially if you have a patient who wasn't sure. One thing actually I did mean to show, and I almost forgot, a key piece of this is making sure your patient is set up correctly. Just takes a second here to load. So you'll notice I have my phone and my email. One key thing for sending a text message, it has to be listed as cell. It doesn't have to be preferred, but it has to have a cell phone listed. So if you have the home phone listed, but that's the cell, please just populate it down here as well. You'll just find it with the drop down. And then you do need an email. If you go up here to patient messaging preferences and select, you're going to see that for appointment reminders that I, the patient, want email and text. I don't have voice set up yet. It's going to show my cell phone and my email and who my responsible party is. If there is no value for cell phone or email, they will not get one. So that's a great way to double check when you're setting somebody up. Okay. All right. We're going to jump in. And again, if you have any questions on this, please feel free to send those in. We're going to talk a little bit here about online scheduling, and then we'll do a demo as well. So online scheduling, it is now available. For everybody who has AdvancedPatient Pro, you have been upgraded, and we sent a message out earlier in the month. It's very simple to set up. We'll go over that setup here in just a couple minutes, and you will have full control of your scheduling. That's one item we get concerns on is just letting the patients be able to schedule anytime they'd like. And then one of the neat things that we'll show in a second is you can add a link to your web page, or use in marketing, you get your own link. So every office key has its own unique link that you can use for scheduling. So add that link to your Facebook page, add that link to your web page, send that out to an email. Your patients click it and they can go right into the scheduling and sign up. You'll watch as you're getting new patients, you're capturing new patients, and then again, we talked about that, freeing up your front desk. So just an example, actually, this is we had a client example this isn't a client page, but we had a client example where they did add the schedule button to their page, and it looks seamless. And by clicking on it, they just clicked on, the patients would click on schedule, take them to our page. It's very seamless. It took them right into the scheduling application, and for the patient, there wasn't anything difficult about that. You can just see adding a button with the link. Once you get that, we'll send you that link when we get you configured, and you can add it to your page and start capturing appointments. Okay, so this is what the page would look like. Your patients would be asked, are they existing or not? And yes, we do allow new patients to schedule, and we'll show how we've been able to incorporate that. So for this example, I'm gonna be a new patient. I'm going to hit no. I'll hit the next button. I'm going to have the terms and conditions here, and so you'll see that we have a no-show cancellation fee. This is completely customizable. So your practice can write this message to however you'd like. They have to agree to this to continue, and we do have that recorded. Once they've agreed, they won't see this again as a patient with a portal account. They'll only see it if you make that change, if you make a change to this. So if I hit next, so why do I want to be seen? So you can have your different appointment types right in here, and you can limit what is seen on here. If you don't want to do, I have new patient on here, but if you don't want a new patient exam to be scheduled online, then just don't allow it. There is ways to configure that. I'm going to show one quick example here of telemedicine, and I'm going to back up. They can also visit details. And then what it's going to offer them, if you have telemedicine, is they can schedule this for in-person or telemedicine visit. If they schedule telemedicine visit, they can pick a time, or they can start right now. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pick a different item. I'm going to pick a consultation. So I have a weird bump on my wrist is my condition. I'm going to hit next. If you have multiple facilities, you can select multiple facilities. Right now I just have the one. And if you have other providers, so this is the neat thing with online scheduling. If you want all your providers or just one, you can set that up. It's very highly configurable. This is our schedule, so I can look at the different times here. And I go, you know what? March 22nd at 9 a.m. looks fantastic. If the time's not available, it's not on this list. I hit next, and then I'm going to get a summary. So consultation, I can change that if I want. Here's the location, here's the provider, here's the time. I hit next. I can add in my information. And this just follows. This just follows what your patient info required settings are. And so if you require address, then it'll require address. So I type this information. I'm going to leave out address. I can get that on there. I can type in the name of my insurance carrier, and I can even, I'm not going to do it for this example, I can actually upload the image. This will work on a website, but you can upload, you can scan or take a picture of your card. If you're on your phone, this website will work on your phone too. And I'm going to hit complete booking. And while it's doing its magic here, I will get a confirmation screen here in just a second. So thanks for my booking. Appointment's been booked. I'll get a confirmation email in a second here. If I need to call or cancel, I have to do it within 24 hours. And I have my no-show and cancellation fee. These last two items here are customizable, and I'll show you where to do that. They will get an email with information on the appointment. Here's the neat thing. As a new patient, I just scheduled an online appointment. If you have it set up with our forms, with AdvancedPatient, they'll now get forms based off that appointment type. They'll get the consent and the demographics or whatever form you want them to fill out. They're also going to get an appointment reminder automatically. Once you've set up, you don't have to do any work to get all three of those items to happen. It's all integrated. It all happens automatically, saving you time. I'm going to go back to the practice management. I'm going to go to our scheduler, and I'm going to pick March 22nd. I think that was the day I selected. 9 a.m. And you can see my patient visit right here. And you can see that below I have online scheduling is listed in the comments. I have my visit reason, and then I have who my carrier is. The neat thing here is for your front office, other than that instance, it's seamless. They don't have to know or care if it was an online scheduling or not. It just schedules. And so I'm going to show you how to set that up with holds, and we're going to talk about the master file here in just a second. So let me open a master file online scheduling. So the first thing you'll see is the appointment types, the mapping. You can select, of all of your appointment types, you can select the ones you want to allow for online scheduling. You'll notice here, I don't have every one of them selected. The other thing is you can give an alias. So I have a mental health evaluation, or I have NP new patient. A lot of times patients don't always know what our appointment types are. So you can see here that I've called this consultation. So you may have a more internal version for your appointment, but you can actually select what the patient sees. Double booking, I can choose to allow column constraints for double booking, and it will follow that from your scheduler setup. Or I can only allow empty slots. So it'll only show if there is an empty slot for that. I can pick when to allow scheduling for the appointment. You notice the first available day, I think, was the 5th. So if I want time to review, I can do that. I can put it at 0 and they can book immediately. This is the charge for no-shows and cancellations, and this is where that shows on that confirmation. This does not automatically handle the no-show if they're not there. You can select the default facility and the default time zone. You can also include instructions in the confirmation email. I will give a warning if your instructions aren't clean, if they're not easily understandable, if they're more for your front desk, don't select that. Otherwise, your patient will have the instructions written in the message, and then this is the upfront disclaimer. And then I just want to show, if we go to our master files, appointments, block hold setup, I'm just going to show what one looks like here. So for this item here, I created a reason for my appointment type. And so I called it online scheduling. So you can go in your master file and add that to your list. But you can call it whatever you'd like for your hold. If I want to allow any appointment type, I just leave appointment type blank. If I want to limit certain hold times to only new patient, follow-up appointments, immunizations, I can just add an appointment type. That is full customized for you. If you have telemedicine, you can make this a telemedicine visit or not. The big thing here is you just have to allow it to be online booking. If this button is not selected in a hold, you cannot use that time slot. So that gives you full control over that. And I have this just as a daily for one column. That just allows, if I want one provider to have that, I just create one hold. The last thing I wanted to show you was what happens if I get duplicates, or what happens if I get garbage data. So if I go into here, and you're just going to see this example a lot of times, what it does is if it recognizes me, if I match on multiple items, it's going to pull up and ask me which one do I want to keep. And so is this the same patient? I can say, actually it is. This is the correct birthday. This is the correct address. Or let's say this is the correct birthday. And then I can update it. Either way, I can merge this patient record, hit save for that data, and you can see that it's merging. And it'll allow me to accept or decline the appointment, the match. If I don't want to allow it to keep, I can delete it from here. So just wanted to show that. I've got a couple other things I want to show really quickly, and then we'll move to questions. So from our portal, so if you are an existing patient, you can get to this from your portal. You'll either get the login screen from the direct link, or if I'm in the portal, I can go to appointments. And you'll see I get the same, terms and conditions and the, but you can see here I've got a couple of neat things selected. I can see all my upcoming appointments, and if I have the option, I can even cancel the appointment. And I've got the practice phone number listed here, but it gives all my upcoming appointments as well as my appointment history. And then just to kind of go over the portal really quickly, there's lots of different options you can do with the portal. You can send a message to your practice. You can request refills, pay the bill. You can make payments. And then this is where your forms would be that I had mentioned earlier. This is where you would see the form, and these forms are highly customizable. You can pretty much make whatever you'd like, and I can fill this out and send it back in. A lot of our meaningful use stage 3 items are included in this in the portal, so it's a great tool to use to meet those requirements. So that's what I wanted to show for today. I'm going to open it up, or I've got a couple. Actually, I've got one quick couple of slides and a shameless plug. What's next for patient engagement at AdvancedMD? So Voice Reminders is coming out later this spring. We'll actually be opening for beta probably in April. We are going to be working on online statements. That's going to be very, very exciting. If you have a health watcher, prescription refill, we're working on sending reminders out for those items. And then lastly, patient recalls. So if you have a patient who is due for their diabetes checkup in 6 months and you don't have them on the schedule, it will send them a reminder to tell them to call the office and to get set up. If you have online scheduling, you'll be able to click a link and schedule from that appointment. I'm on Nest. I'm on Nest quite a bit. If you're not familiar with Nest, that's our user community in which our product management and support come together with our users. And there's lots of great questions out here. You can ask questions. I post our webinars. We'll have a recording posted here. And then a lot of cases, we'll post new product information here first. So check Nest. It's a great site. And now we'll open it for Q&A. So the question is, how is eligibility confirmed with new patients without requesting the insurance ID number? Currently, it isn't something we do have integrated, but we've had requests for that. That is something we can look into of how to get that information. I don't know. Once the patient is in, we can look at that. But currently we don't have that, but that is a great suggestion, and I'll be looking into how we can add that to the online scheduling. We are looking at additional, so the question was, are there additional webinars to train for AdvancedPatient? My plan is to try to do a webinar once a month if possible, to go over the different products and kind of show the product use. This was more of an overview and a demo, but we are looking at doing some more in-depth webinars. Let us know if you're interested. I'd love to hear that in the comments. And then in what in particular you'd like to see. So I love to get that kind of feedback of what would you like to see. Post that on Nest. Reply back on the questions, because we'll be doing a reputation management one in the next few months, as well as we could go more in depth on forms and items. So one of the questions is, what's the largest pet that I have? So I love that question. Right now I'd have to say it's my Bengal cats. So they're hybrid cats from an Asian leopard cat and a domestic cat. They're not that big, but they're the largest and they cause the most damage. They like to drop stuff off my counters. They're very awesome cats. But great question, thank you. I have a chameleon. I've got some dart frogs and fish. So they're all kind of small for the most part.
So I have a question. If my patient has a different responsible party, who gets the reminder? Or can I have let's say the responsible parties, the mom or the dad, do they get the reminder? Or?
Right now, they do not. Right now, the patient gets the reminder. So typically, like pediatrician offices have set that up, but I do have exciting news for you. We are working with the voice reminders right now, and this is something that'll be out sometime this spring, to allow you in that patient messaging preferences that I showed earlier to select if you want it based off patient or responsible party. If it's responsible party, then it's going to go to mom or dad. So I know for pediatrician offices, this is going to be a great win for them. This is actually feedback we got from our roadshow, and that's something we're actively working in right now So stay tuned. Right now it's patient, but eventually you'll have the option for responsible party or for patient.
I've got another question of asking, is there a way that patients can self-register themselves for the patient portal?
Not at this time. Well, okay, you're right. I take that back. Yes, you can actually self-register. They have to be in the system as a patient. They on the login screen. Let me hang on here. Let me see if I can show you. So on the login screen here, you'll see I can do two things. If I don't have an account, I can register. You can also log in through Facebook or Google authentication. What it does is you log in with your Facebook password, and it authenticates, tells us it's actually you, sends that information over. But if you register for a new account, you can register with just your the last four of your social security or your date of birth. Great question. Thank you. All right. This webinar is going to be available online. It'll be on our main page, and we'll have it posted within 24 hours. And check for Nest. We'll have it posted on Nest. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate your time today. And let us know how you, I'd love to get comments on how you actively engage with your patients outside of the office. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Goodbye.